Hey everybody, SPAZ here, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of But Is It Power Pop? Got a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm not going to lollygag. Remember the last video I told you how great and fantastic the new Paul Collins album is. Well, I wanted to remind you of okay, let's put it this way. If somebody came up to me and they said, I want to know about what this power pop is all about, can you recommend one album only, that will tell me everything I need to know about this late 70s, early 80s movement that everyone's talking about? You know, you think to yourself, Raspberries, early 70s or early to mid 70s, Badfinger, early to mid 70s. Those are classics. But in my opinion, there's one album that defines power pop, and that is the first album from The Beat. That is right. I know I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to focus on it, but I believe that this is probably the finest power pop album for beginners. If you want to know what power pop is all about, get The Beat. It's just fantastic from start to finish. Next up, one of their contemporaries, kind of, in a way, the Go-Go's, Beauty and the Beat. It isn't, I believe that maybe in the UK they had to change the name of this album to Beauty and the Paul Collins Beat, but I'm not sure. But anyway, is it power pop? No, it's not power pop. But it's got some great power pop moments. How Much More is just a fantastic power pop song. Our Lips Are Sealed, I think, could go right in there with power pop. This is the expanded edition here. It's got a bunch of bonus stuff on it. But yes, I think that partially this album does have some great power pop moments. It's not strictly power pop. In fact, most can say it's new wave or commercial pop or whatever, but I think that it does, at least half the album lands in our wheelhouse. Us power pop folks, us people who dig power pop, the most maligned musical genre in history. And this I wanted to thank my friend Patrick Pearson for. This is brand new release from Screen Test. This features two members of the Flash Cubes, Gary Frenay and Tommy Allen. This has a batch of new songs and a batch of previously unreleased songs. And this is a brand new release by Screen Test. So any of you Flash Cubes fans, any American power pop fans, you are going to love this release. Screen Test is the name of the band. You can get the label information right there as well. And definitely track this one down. A lot of great songs on it. Thank you, Patrick, for keeping me informed of this and getting it to me. Enjoying it quite a bit. Screen Test, again, for all you Flash Cubes fans like Matthew Street, you probably already have it. Remember a band called Idle Jets? There was a gentleman by the name of Pat Buchanan. Spider Pop has just released a 2-track single from Pat. And that is definitely going to be worth your while. It's a nice little gatefold thing, too. Hopefully there's an album on the way. But that is on Spider Pop Records. And Spider Pop also released the Wilkerson and the Penguin singles and the Beyond Belief tribute to Elvis Costello and the Lanny Flowers releases. And a lot of great stuff on the label. So Spider Pop, Spider Pop is right there. Spider Pop. And but that's a great little 2-track single. Great return. He's been around for a while. He's been playing on a lot of sessions. He's like a great sideman. He's a great musician. And now that is available for you to purchase or download, but still pay for it. No streaming. My new rule, no streaming. If you're going to stream it once, listen to it, and then buy it. My new rule. New, but is it power pop rule. Speaking of no streaming, you have to buy. Eddie and the Hot Rods. Is it power pop? Well, it's more pub rock. But Do Anything You Want to Do is a great power pop song. They have great power pop songs mixed in. This here is a 6 CD release. Features 3 studio albums and some BBC sessions and some BBC live in concert and a fan club only album that has some unreleased studio and live cuts as well. That just recently came out, and you should add that to your collection. Eddie and the Hot Rods. I believe they just called it quits. They just did a tour, a farewell tour. And but yes, Eddie and the Hot Rods is definitely something you need to track down. Not power pop exactly. There are some power pop songs. It's not Dr. Feelgood rock and roll either. It's sort of somewhere in between. It's got new wave edge, punk edge, but definitely a pub rock thing. This is a brand new release by a band called Jeremy and the Harlequins. There's a lot on this album that is just pure, unadulterated power pop. But at times there seems to be a Springsteen influence there as well. This album, and I said this on Facebook, it reminds me of the days in like the late 70s and early 80s when I would go through the bins and I'd flip through and I'd go, oh, I've never heard of this band before. And, it was cheap. It was a quarter, on LP, vinyl. Back in the days when I bought vinyl, I'm not going back there. No, I feel old because people are going, people are thinking that CDs are old school. That makes me feel old. Anyway, going through the bins and discovering new bands because I would go, oh, that's 25 cents or 29 cents or 50 cents or whatever. And, this is just unknown bands at the time. Bands that we now love and respect, like the Stompers, the Electrics, Hawks, 4 to 5 Doctors. It reminded me more of like maybe a band that was somewhere in between the new wave, but also a little bit of that sort of, the music was rooted in Americana. So this is definitely a great guitar pop record. There's a lot of great pop songs, but there are also songs that lean towards maybe, Americana, but more of a rockier edge. But it's really good. Here's another new one. Tony Molina, Kill the Lights. This is every song. I think there's one song that's over the 2-minute mark. Every song on this, there's 10 songs. I think it lasts maybe 15 minutes at the most, or maybe 16 minutes. But imagine like Elliott Smith with a jangle. He has that sort of soft, shy, acoustic, sort of slightly dark melodic sense to him. But then there's a 12-string guitar that, lifts it up into almost the power pop realm. It's not exactly power pop. Imagine it as being power pop demos. Songs that would eventually become power pop. That's, some songs don't stay around long enough. They're minute and 15 seconds, minute and 30 seconds. But it's a real fun listen, so that's something that you should check out. Everyone knows I love, I probably talked about this already, so excuse me. Everyone knows I love A, Teensville Records, and B, Sunshine Pop. Well, the sun shines on my street. Even if I did talk about it before, it's good to talk about it again. That's a great collection right there. Bunch of mostly unknown Sunshine Pop stuff, or little-known Sunshine Pop stuff. It's absolutely fantastic and definitely worth your time. Teensville Records is a label that it doesn't matter what's on it, buy it. That's my new motto. No streaming, buy Teensville Records. That's my new motto. Here's something here that a lot of you may enjoy. Everyone knows Rockpile. Everyone knows Dave Edmunds, Nick Lowe, and how Rockpile only put out one album, but Rockpile basically backed Dave Edmunds on like 2.5 albums and Nick Lowe on an album. Well, drummer Terry Williams eventually went on to Dire Straits, and guitarist Billy Bremner continued to make some solo music. In fact, one of his albums had songs written by Difford Tilbrook, had a song written by Elvis Costello. This right here is a collection of Billy Bremner pre and post Rockpile. There are no Rockpile songs on here, but there are demos of Creature from the Black Lagoon and Trouble Boys, 2 songs that Billy Bremner wrote that Dave Edmunds recorded. But this has all the great Billy Bremner singles that he put out, like Shatterproof, which was written by Costello, and my favorite, which is Loud Music in Cars, which was co-written. In fact, a lot of the stuff was co-written and produced by Will Birch, drummer from the Records. So you may want to check that out. That is a brand new release. Billy Bremner singled out. He even has 2 new songs. Has tracks that he's just released throughout the years. Songs from his Smash album and some other non-album material. So definitely check out Billy Bremner. He does fall right in between the poppiness of Nick Lowe and the, rock and roll roots of Dave Edmunds. So it's kind of like, it's Billy Bremner is a rock pile sandwich. Swear to God. Anyway, talking about sort of American rootsy pop, whatever, there is Guadalcanal Diary, first 2 albums on 1 disc. You can also, I believe, get this as a Rhino Handmade expanded with a bunch of bonus tracks. But if you're just looking around for something that, if you're a fan of REM and Marshall Crenshaw and stuff, you kind of, Guadalcanal Diary kind of fall into that category where definitely it's Americana with, it's not power pop, but it's really, really great guitar pop. Rootsy edge. So definitely check that out. Oh Lord, every time I see this, it makes my heart... Shoes, black vinyl shoes. But this isn't just black vinyl shoes. This is the Cherry Red box set that actually has black vinyl shoes. Has a booklet, but it has black vinyl shoes with the not too attractive original cover. And then it has the previous 2 albums, Bazooka and One in Versailles. And then there's even bonus tracks. I like these albums. I don't think they're great. I think that they are basically steps in becoming the great band they were with black vinyl shoes. I didn't get into shoes until present tense. And once I heard that, I probably bought it like within a month of its release because I was buying anything that looked kind of cool. So I bought that, and then I went and I tracked this down. And this I just absolutely fell in love with. In fact, I think this might have come out on PVC, which is Marty Scott's label. Part of the whole Gem empire. And that guy deserves just a shelf in your record room of just all stuff that he introduced you to. Gem Records was like really the first importer. I'm getting off track. We're talking about shoes here. But yeah, thank Marty Scott for a lot of stuff. Let me see. There is Black Vinyl Shoes, such an emotional record. Cheaply recorded because, they were basically recording it in their garage. But there's just so much emotion in that record and so many great melodies. And these were just baby steps that led to Black Vinyl Shoes. And Black Vinyl Shoes is a heartbreaking, lovely record. Present Tense is an album that got me through my first real breakup. But Black Vinyl Shoes is really the album that sounds like a relationship. It's warm and cold at the same time, and it's lovely and it's scary at the same time, and that's Black Vinyl Shoes, and I highly recommend that. But then again, talk to any Shoes fan, and they will say the same thing. They will say, "I love you, Shoes," just like I say. Oh, here's an interesting one. Everybody remember Liars Club, and there's also offshoots like Vanilla and Pop 4, but McPherson Grant features Scott McPherson from Liars Club, and this is, if you love things like XTC Skylarking and Prefab Sprout, the more sophisticated pop, this is definitely going to float your boat. McPherson Grant, the album is called Song, and it is a beautiful piece of work. It is just a fantastic album. Some songs take 2 listens to get into, 3 listens. Some songs will hit you straight off the bat. But McPherson Grant, definitely an album that you should add to your collection. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait until you order it. You probably order it online somewhere. Let me see here. Everybody remembers John Dunbar and Confederacy of Dunces. But did you know that John is in a band with 2 different Sals? 2 different Sals. And they're called the John Salley Ride. And that is Power Pop Supremo. Bunch of great songs on there. if you like John Dunbar solo stuff and Confederacy of Dunces from many, many moons ago, 2 decades or so, you're definitely going to love the John Salley Ride. They are putting together a new album, so you need to get this now. It's great. It's crunchy. It's melodic. And it's definitely worth your while. Definitely worth your time. What you need to do is you need to buy this now. You can buy it from Cool Cat. A lot of great stuff on Cool Cat lately. Unfortunately, I can't feature them on But Is It Power Pop because I don't have the CDs. I've just heard MP3s. But the John Salley Ride is really, really good, so you need to check that out. And let me see what else I have here for you. I also have one, and I say one, not two, but one, of John Dunbar's albums. And then also I wanted to show you Shirley Temple's hits. But is it power pop? No. Just wanted to show it to you. Clockwise, band from Canada. And Claude Kent's the leader of that band. Lots of great music on this. I've been featuring a few tracks from my Skip Dobman with SPAZ radio show on Woody Radio. Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, 6 p.m. Pacific. Last thing I'm going to talk about today, again, this is something I have talked about in the past, but not in this version. This is Road to Ruin, the Ramones. Let me see if I can get that whole thing in there. This isn't the LP. Would I buy the LP? No. Remember, I'm old school CD. This is, actually, there is an LP in it. I'm sorry. I was just kidding. But it's 3 CDs and an LP, and it has like a booklet in there with information on the album. Just look at all the material you get there. You not only get the album, you get alternate version of the album, you get alternate demos and different mixes and singles and B-sides and all that fun stuff. Ramones, are they power pop? You know what? To everybody that says they're not power pop, I say you're right. To everybody that says that they are power pop, I say you're right. Because, you know, if you took, something from here like Don't Come Close or She's the One or I Want to Be Sedated, if you took those songs and put them on another album with a bunch of other Ramones power poppy songs or whatever, they'd be the greatest power pop band in the world. But there is the punkier stuff that sort of pulls you out of the power pop world. But I would say that yes, this album is power pop. This is their most instantly lovable. No, I'm sorry. Outside of the deluxe editions of the first 3 albums, but yes, I would say that this is the most instantly power pop. But then again, you have things like Sheena's a punk rocker or Beat on the Brat even. These things are just instantly lovable. I don't care. I don't care if you think that the Ramones are or are not power pop. All I know is that they have some excellent, absolutely wonderful power pop songs. So anyway, that's it. I thank everybody for watching this episode of But Is It Power Pop? Oh, I tried. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And remember to like, share, subscribe, and do everything you can to help spread the SPAZ gospel. I appreciate it. Thank you, and smell you later.